Hey everybody, it's Teresa. Welcome to my channel. I'm going to be making a bracelet today using some of the products that I got from Beebeecraft. In case you're not familiar, Beebeecraft is an online craft supply store. They have lots of beads and bindings and jewelry making supplies. If you have a channel and you have at least 100 subscribers, you can apply to be in their YouTube program and get products and do tutorials for them. I'll post a link in the description box below so you can check that program out if you're interested. They offer free shipping for orders over $25. Their website says the free shipping is not only for customers in the United States, but also other countries. I have a coupon code. It's Teresa10, and I'll put it on the screen here and in the description box below. It'll save you 10% off your order if you make an order with them. I'll put links to all the Beebeecraft products I'm using in the description box below, along with links to the other tools and supplies I'm using, as many as I can find. And I'll also link the Beebeecraft homepage in the description box below. These are the 3.5 to 4 by 2.5 to 3 millimeter rondelles that I got from Beebeecraft. Not in this last order, and I don't think it was even the order before. I think it might have been the order before that. I'm not sure. There were 10 strands of them, and each strand was a different color. And these are dark green, and this is a coral color, and this is yellow. I don't know what this is going to turn out to look like when I get done. I wanted colors that would contrast well against each other, and I guess these do. But I don't know what it's going to look like when I get done. We'll have something, though. We'll have a bracelet. I just don't know what it's going to look like. I've got a toggle clasp and a couple of 8/0s that I'm going to use, galvanized silver 8/0s that I'm going to use at the toggle clasp area. I'm just going to sew it directly onto the bracelet. I'm not going to use a wire guard and jump rings like I do sometimes. I've got my 11/0 galvanized silver Miyuki seed beads. 11/0s, I said that, didn't I? I've got 2 size 11 tulip beading needles here. I'm only going to be using one, but I always have an extra in case I lose one or need one to add on thread or something. I've got my 8-pound fire line and smoke. I've got my chain nose pliers to flatten my thread so I can get it through the needle. And that's really the only, other than my little scissors to cut my fire line, that's really the only tools I'm going to be using, because like I said, I'm going to sew the clasp directly onto the bracelet. So I think that's everything. Hold on, I'll get some of my beads poured out and I'll be back. Okay, I've got some of my beads poured out here, and I've got my needle threaded, and I'm leaving about a 12, I've got my stop bead on here, and I'm leaving about a 12-inch tail to sew my clasp on later. I don't know really how much it's going to take. It's been a while since I've done one of these, but I think 12 inches will be enough. So let me zoom in here because these beads are tiny. This is going to be peyote. It's even count peyote. It's not odd count, so we're not going to do any weird turns or anything. Although that's not hard. It really is not. I'm going to pick up one of my green rondelles and 2 of my 11/0 seed beads, one of my yellow rondelles, 2 of my 11/0 seed beads, and one of my coral color rondelles, and 2 of my 11/0 seed beads. I'm going to bring this all down here to my stop bead. Now, just like in regular peyote, this is actually partially 2-drop peyote. Except in 2-drop peyote, you're always picking up 2 beads and skipping 2 beads. We're going to be doing that part of the time. We're going to be doing that with our seed beads, but we're not going to be picking up 2 rondelles at once and going through 2 rondelles at once. But in this case, we're going to think of those 2 11/0 seed beads there as 1 bead. So I'm going to pick up a bead and skip a bead. So I'm going to pick up 2 11/0s, which we're thinking of as 1 bead in this case. And I'm going to skip those 2 11/0s and go through that rondelle there. And that sets those 2 beads that I just picked up next to the 2 I skipped. Now I'm going to do that again. I'm going to pick up 2 seed beads, skip the 2 seed beads that are there and go through the yellow rondelle. Now I'm going to do that again. I'm going to pick up 2 seed beads, skip the next 2 seed beads, and go into that green rondelle. Now we're going to go back down. Now just like we have 2 sets of 11 O's under this each rondelle, we're going to have 2 sets of 11 O's beside each rondelle. So I'm going to skip this green rondelle, so I need to pick up 2 11 O's to go next to it. And I'm going to go in these 2 11 O's because I'm skipping a bead and going in a bead. And these 2 11 O's are 1 bead. I'm going to do that again. I'm going to pick up 2 11 O's. I'm going to skip that yellow rondelle, go in these 2 11 O's. Now I'm going to pick up 2 11 O's, skip that coral colored rondelle and go into the next 2 11 O's. Now I want to have, next to my 2 sets of 11 O's, I want a rondelle. And I'm going to do this in a diagonal pattern. So I'm going to pick up a green one because right here I will have to pick up a coral one, and right here I will have to pick up an 11 one to keep going diagonal. So here I have to have a green one. So I'm going to pick up a green one. I'm going to skip these two 11 O's on the end here that we're counting as 1 bead, and I'm going to go into those 2 11 O's that we're counting as 1 bead. And I'm going to bring my thread through and set my rondelle down there. And that's separated, but it's going to tighten up when I do the next one. Now the next one, I'm going diagonally this way, so the next one I want to be a coral bead. So I'm going to pick up a coral bead. And I'm going to skip those 2 11 O's, which we're counting as 1 bead, and go into these 2 11 O's. And now, to do my diagonal, I need a yellow one here, so I'm going to pick up a yellow rondelle. I'm going to skip these 2. They're really, if you look, they're recessed in there. It's hard to see, but they are. I'm going to skip those 2 and go into the 2 that are sticking out up here. Now I'm going to tighten this up. Put my stop bead down and tighten this up. So now I'm going to be going back down. And I want 2 11 O's next to this green rondelle. So I'm going to pick up 2 11 O's. I'm going to skip these 2 11 O's, go into the yellow rondelle. I'm going to do that again because I want 2 rondelles next to this yellow one and under this yellow one. So I'm going to pick up 2 11 O's, and I'm going to go into this coral colored rondelle. I'm going to do that again. Pick up 2 11 O's, go down into this green rondelle down here. Now I want 2 sets of rondelles next to this green one that I'm about to skip. So I'm going to pick up 2 11 O's. And I'm going to go into these 2 11 O's. I'm skipping the rondelle at the bottom and going through those 2 11-ohs there. Now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to pick up 2 11-ohs. I'm going to skip my coral colored rondelle and go into these 2 11-ohs. Now I'm going to pick up 2 more 11-ohs, skip my yellow rondelle, and go into these last 2 11-ohs here. Now I've got my 2 sets of 11-ohs here, so I know I need a rondelle here, and it needs to be a yellow one if I'm going to do my diagonal. So I'll pick up a yellow one. I'm going to skip these first 2 11-ohs and go in these 2 11-ohs. Now I need to pick up another rondelle, and I need it to be a coral one to keep my diagonal going. So I'm going to pick up a coral one. I'm going to skip the 2 rondelles that are recessed in there and go in these 2 that are sticking out. I mean 11-ohs, not rondelles. Now I'm going to pick up a green rondelle to keep my diagonal going. I'll skip those 2 11-ohs that are in there, and I'm going to go in these 2 that are sticking out. Now I pulled the whole thing out of my hand. Now I've got 1 set of 11-ohs next to this green rondelle, and under this green rondelle I know I want 2. So this row I'm going to be picking up 2 11-ohs. So I'll pick up 2 11-ohs. I'm going to skip these 2 rondelles and go, or these 2 11-ohs and go in the rondelle. Now I want two sets of 11-ohs under this coral one, so I'm pick up 2 11-ohs, go into the coral rondelle. Now I'm going to pick up 2 11-ohs and go into the yellow rondelle. Now I'm back up here where I need 11-ohs next to my rondelle. So I'm going to pick up 2 11-ohs. I'm going to skip my rondelle, and I'm going to go into these 2 11-ohs. Pick up 2 11-ohs. Skip the coral rondelle, go into these 2 11-ohs. Pick up 2 11-ohs. Skip the green rondelle, go into these 2 11-ohs. Okay, now here I know I need another rondelle here because I've got 2 sets of 11-ohs next to this green rondelle, so I need another rondelle. To keep my diagonal going, I'm going to have to put a green rondelle here and a coral rondelle here, so I know down here I'm going to have a yellow one. So I'm going to pick up a yellow one. If I can get one on my needle. Now I'm going to skip these 2 rondelles these 2 rondelles here that are recessed in there. And I mean these 2 11-ohs that are recessed in there, and I'm going to go through the 2 11-ohs that are sticking out here. Okay, now I'm going to pick up another rondelle, and I know it has to be a green one to keep my diagonal going. So I'll pick up a green one. Skip the 2 11-0s that are recessed in there and go through the 2 11-0s that are sticking out here. Now I need a coral rondelle to go here to keep my diagonal going, so I'm going to pick up a coral. I'll skip those 2 11-0s that are recessed in there, and I'll go into these last 2 11-0s here. Now I know I need another set of 11-0s here, because I need 2 on this side of the yellow one, 2 on top of my rondelle, coral rondelle. So I'm going to pick up 2 11-0s. We'll skip these first 2 11-0s and go into the rondelle. Pick up 2 11-0s. Skip the 2 11-0s that are recessed in there and go into the green rondelle. Skip the 2 11-0s, or pick up 2 11-0s. Skip the 2 11-0s that are recessed in there and go into the yellow rondelle. That's what I've got so far. Now I'm going to do one more row, because I don't know how many times I said 11-0s when I meant rondelles and rondelles when I meant 11-0s. I had to be gone today. I had to go to a doctor's appointment. Anytime I have to get out of the house, it exhausts me, and I'm just not on the top of my game here. So I know that I want 2 sets of rondelles next to this 11-0. So I know that I want 2 sets of 11-0s next to this rondelle, this yellow rondelle. So I'm going to pick up 2 11-0s, and I'm going to skip the rondelle and go in these 2 11-0s. Now I need 2 11-0s next to this green rondelle, so I'm going to pick up 2 11-0s. Skip the green rondelle and go into the 2 11-0s on the other side of it. Now I'm going to pick up 2 11-0s. Skip this coral rondelle and go into the 2 11-0s up here. Okay, now I've already got 2 sets of 11-0s here, so I know I need another rondelle here, and it needs to be a coral one to keep my diagonal going. So I'm going to pick up a coral one. If I can get my needle in it. Now I'm going to skip these first 2 11-0s and go into these 2 11-0s that are sticking out here. Now here I need a green rondelle to keep my diagonal going. So I'm going to pick up a green rondelle. I'm going to skip those 2 11-0s that are recessed in there, and I'm going to go in these 2 11-0s that are sticking out. Now down here I need a yellow rondelle to keep my diagonal going. So I'm going to pick up a yellow one. I'll skip those 2 11-0s that are recessed in there and go in these 2 11-0s down here. Now I know I need another set of 11-0s under this yellow rondelle. So I'm going to pick up 2 11-0s. Skip these 2 11-0s and go into the rondelle. And get a knot in my thread. Okay, it wasn't a knot. Now I'm going to pick up 2 more 11-0s. Skip those 2 11-0s that are recessed in there and go in the green rondelle. I've got a thread somewhere. Now, I'm going to pick up 2 11-0s. I'll skip those 2 11-0s that are recessed in there and go into the coral colored rondelle. And now it's time to pick up 2 11-0s to go next to my rondelles. And then when I go back up, I'll pick up 2 more 11-0s to set next to those 2 11-0s, and on until I get the length that I want. So I'm going to do this, keep doing this until I get the length that I want, and then I'll be back and we'll sew on the clasp. Okay, I've got my length here now, and I'm going to add on my clasp. And I didn't come back when I added on thread. I did add on thread, but I added it on just like I always add on peyote. I just went back through and stitched back through and crisscrossed my thread and locked it in like I always do. But when I end this thread off, I'll do that on video here, so in case you've never seen me do that before. Now I'm coming out of this green one here that I just put on. I'm going to sew around until I'm coming out of these two, I guess. Got to figure out how I want to center this. It's a little bit harder to center even count peyote than it is odd count. I think I've come through this one, this green one. Now I'm going to go up these two 11-ohs and come out these two 11-ohs. Now I've got my 8-oh here, one of my 8-ohs. I'll pick up, I think, 3. I better pick up more than that. Maybe 5, because I'm going to put my bar side on first, and you want to make sure your bar has enough room to get through your toggle. So let's see, about 5. That might be too much, I don't know. Let me go. Now I'm going to go through the bar. I've got 5 11-ohs and 1 8-oh. And now I'm going to go through my toggle bar. And I'm going to come back through the 8-oh. I think I'll come, yeah, just back through the 8-oh. And now I'm going to pick up 5 more 11-ohs. And I'm going to go in this coral rondelle here. I think that should be plenty of room for it to get back through the toggle. Might be too much room, but I guess it's better to have too much than not enough. Now I'm going to sew back around till I'm coming back out this coral 11-oh here, so that I can go back through everything. So I'm going to go through these two 11-ohs, back up these two 11-ohs, back out this coral bead, and now I'm going to go back up these 5 11-ohs and the 8-oh. Back through my toggle bar. Back through my 8-oh. Back down the other side of the 5 11-ohs. I'm going to go back through these two 11-ohs. I'm going to go down these two. Now I'm going to go out this rondelle. Back down these two 11-ohs and through this rondelle. Now I'm going to go back up these two 11-ohs, back through these two 11-ohs, Now I'm going to go back around all this one more time. So I'm going to go back up these 5/11 and the 8 back through the toggle bar, back down the 8 and the 5/11 on this side, back into this coral bead, and now I've got my toggle bar on there. Now I'm going to end off this thread, so I'm going to go up these 2 11/0s, down these 2 11/0s, and then back up these 2 11/0s, just crisscrossing my thread. I'm going to go back up, I'm going to go up this yellow rondelle, go up one of these columns of, there's a lot of thread in there, I better go through another one, go through these 2 11/0s, and then I'll go down this rondelle. You got to be careful if your beads are tight like that when you try to go through them. If you force it, you're very likely to break a bead. I've broken many beads in my time. Now I'm coming up these 2 11/0s. I'm going to go back up I'm going to go up these 2 11/0s next to it. It would be bad to break a bead right here when you've almost got your bracelet done. Now I'm going to go back down these 2 11/0s, just crisscrossing my thread. Back up these 2. I better go back down this yellow one here. I go through these 2 11/0s, up these 2 11/0s, back down these 2 11/0s, crisscrossing my thread. Now I'm going to sew up in here, throw a couple more beads, and then I'm just going to cut it off. And now I'm going to put my toggle clasp on the other side, just like I did this one. I don't know if I'll use 5 seed beads or not. I might just use 3, because you need more room on the toggle bar end so that it'll get through the toggle ring. But I don't know, I might not want it to look weird, so I might want it to look the same on both ends, so I might do 5. I don't know, I'll see when I get there, but when I get done I'll be back. Okay, there's my little 2-drop peyote bracelet. I went ahead and did 5 seed beads on this side too, so it would look the same. It clasps together fine. It probably would have clasped together fine if I'd just done 3 seed beads, but I wanted to make sure that it would clasp together. Like I said, I don't know about these colors. I made George come in here and look at it, and he said it looked good, but then again, he thinks everything I make looks good. Of course, well, either that or he just knows better than to say if he thinks something's ugly, but you don't have to use these exact size beads for this. I've done it with 3mm beads, 4mm beads. I've done it with 4mm cube beads. They work real good in there because of what shape that they are. And like I said, if you decide to make an order from Beebeecraft, that code will save you 10% off your order. I hope you all have enjoyed this video. As always, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate those of you who have subscribed to my channel and watched my videos and liked and commented on my videos. I have a website where I sell my jewelry. It's Teresa's Handmade Jewelry, and I'll put a link to it in the description box below in case you're interested, along with my Facebook and Instagram and my email. If you haven't, I'd really love it if you'd subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified when I upload a new video. So until next time, hope y'all have a great day. Take care.